thank you very much for coming. Lovely to see so many people that I've worked with here. Great to see you all down there. Thank you for coming along. This is incredible opportunity for me to learn from some of the best people around the world. I've learned so much from the first two sessions from Tallinn and Valencia, with Jerry in wishing solidarity and support and love to all of the citizens of Valencia for what they've just been through. This is a really hard slot for me to do because I have to listen on the hoof to what's going on for these most mind-blowingly amazing cities and try and pull in what we're doing similarly and what we're learning from it. And it's become clear it's all about engagement, and that's why kind of Mark's given us such a huge focus. And I'm just blown away by seeing how many groups, how many projects. I lost track of all the names of the groups you're doing. Absolutely incredible. But it means I've got to listen really attentively and bring loads of stuff back from what Mark has been saying. If you see my handwriting, you'll know what a struggle that is. I love that it's stories from normal-looking people. What an intelligent way of looking at it. You know, we get a very distorted view of what's in the media, and that doesn't represent our people. But what's really clear, it's all about people and place. I think I told you at the last event that I probably got my ear bent in Anfield a few weeks ago at the Home Bake conference. I was a speaker on a panel and we said, we were talking about Anfield in our team meeting yesterday. We really recognise the plight for the people that are living there. Anfield is a town that's known around the world for very good reasons, for reasons of football. It's not particularly known for community and the people there and everything else. It's really known for for the football. And that's a real issue to the people that are living there, that are finding it hard to choose whether they're going to heat the home and the family that night or whether they're going to eat. And then here we are, wearing our suits and looking all smart from the council, talking about the plight of the people of Anfield. And the very clear message I got was, why wasn't anyone from Anfield there? Why haven't you involved us in the conversations that you're having? Well, the fact was it was too early days in what we were talking about to open up some of the opportunities for this. But there was a real lesson for me there, and that's bring everyone in from the start. And that's a very clear message that I've got from Mark and from Francesca and from, what was the lady from? Kadri, that's right, Kadri Kapler. So, you know, this has been really amazing. Let me put together one of my perhaps busiest graphic. I have to do it like this because I'm not quite sure what the speakers are going to say, so I'm just going to flick backwards and forwards. But really reflecting back on what we've learnt from all three of these amazing cities. First of all, well, in fact, let's give you the ladder of communication first of all. You know, we're developing some really smart plans in Liverpool. We've got some really big ambitions. We're not looking at 1 billion of investment. We're looking at 5 billion because that's what we reckon it will cost to retrofit all the homes property in Liverpool. That's all 207,000 of them. We thought we would have this brilliant plan. We could start knocking on doors and saying, we're ready to retrofit your home. Where do you want us to start? Or when do you want us to start? And from what I've learned from the last three events, we're going to get the door slammed in our face, and quite rightly so, because we haven't involved people from the start. And that's what we need to do now. The plans are still at quite an early stage. You know, similar to Mark, we've got £3.5 million from the Department for Energy Security and Net Zero and Innovate UK funding that's resourcing us to look at this stuff properly. We were just going to go out and tell people about this, but we can't do that. We have to actually bring people in to the decision making. We have to bring people into the panels of where we're trying to decide what's the best way of doing this, which areas do we do first. We obviously want to tackle fuel-poor areas and areas of deprivation and vulnerable users first. So that's the first thing, is bring the community in to help us work out how we're going to do it. But then it goes far further than that. We need people to collaborate with what we're doing. And the thing that I learned particularly from Tallinn and Kadri was, actually, this is all the things that makes Tallinn look so exciting and vibrant. It doesn't just look exciting and vibrant, it is. And you saw that from Valencia at the last Engage meeting, where we had the most fantastic parkland, the river corridor, all the things they were doing to help try and adapt to the climate change fight that we had. So it's a kind of three-part journey for me. The first part is the citizen engagement. It's letting people know there's something happening and something big, much as we did in 2006 in the warm-up to the Capital of Culture. The next part is the citizen collaboration. It's bringing people in, it's listening to them, it's listening about their places and their priorities, and it's helping to get our approach right. But then the third part is city demonstration. Actually get the look, the feel, the smell, the touch that something's going on in the city. We do have a bit of a head start on that. We're joined by the very brilliant Dr. Juliet Staples, one of my dearest colleagues at Liverpool Council, who's behind things like this, the public engagement with school kids, the parks and growing projects, things like this, the floating islands involving kids and getting them out there, doing stuff in Sefton Park and in the docks down here. And also doing things like this, the urban green up work. Juliet's had quite a decent wedge of funding from Europe, which is brilliant. We're still getting money from Europe, despite the terrible things that Brexit has caused. And that's allowed Juliet to demonstrate these are the sorts of things that we can do, whether they're wildlife gardens, rain gardens, sustainable urban drainage schemes. But this should be the catalyst for us. This should be the seed for sharing this stuff with the community and hoping that the community are going to step up and do some things. It's up to us to help facilitate this, as Mark's been doing in Bristol, to give confidence and support to community groups. Obviously funding as well, and it's great that we've got the community environmental funds coming through from the combined authority that helps tickle some of this. But we need to get out and sow the seeds and get people to take this on themselves. I love that Mark don't talk about climate change, and always used to be a very middle-class pursuit, sustainability, but really encouraging to hear from my mate Gemma from planning that they've been out speaking to the community. The community does talk about climate change. Obviously, there's a huge context to this because climate change includes fuel poverty and emissions and all the other things that we're trying to do with the retrofit programme to rectify that. But really great to focus on things like the cost of living, food, prepayment meters, warm homes, all the sorts of things that we can try and solve with the work that we're doing. And it's a very intelligent thing to say, we're here to enable and unlock this sort of stuff. So some really great lessons. I mean, the sorts of language that our directors use is along the lines of cheerleading and all that sort of thing. But I think we need to be more active and we have to be really big enablers in what we're doing. I love involve and then evolve. Everything that we're trying to do on our fancy city plans has to evolve. This was the high-level plan. I bored you with it at the last couple of events, so I can bore you with it for the third time. I kind of had 7 years engineering backgrounds before I came to the council in Jaguar Land Rover, so that helped me take more of a systemic approach to what I'm doing. So I like to play with numbers and mass balance. The mass balance for me is we've got 2 million tonnes of emissions to resolve across the city, a third businesses, a third housing, and a third transport, not including shipping and aviation, food, materials, goods, services, that sort of thing. But hell, we've made a great start in understanding what our baseline is and seeing where the efforts to improve are going to come from. That's given us some great plans around housing, so big plans to try and decarbonise 207,000 homes through full insulation, heat pumps and solar. By having such an ambitious plan, we're hoping to mean that people won't have energy bills again. That just gives us a problem with how do we manage the repayment of the infrastructure that's gone in. And that's where our friends at the university come in from the School of Management to build an economic model that transforms an energy bill from just giving £8 billion a quarter in profit to energy companies into something that invests into your own home and stops you having to give that money away in the first place. We've got the great honour to be developing Festival Gardens as a net zero site. This is brilliant because it's going to show it can be done. Again, we're looking at not having energy bills for the people that live there. And what's really nice is that we're working closely with the planning team because we're learning lots of lessons from this. It's helping us inform the local plan and the guidance and then some of the future policy that comes out of this, which is really wonderful. But then we're also trying to delve further into the technical aspects of this and look at heat networks. Heat networks should be sustainable and affordable, and that's through heat networks alone, we're looking to displace 1.5 billion kilowatt hours of heat demand. But look, it's all about the partnerships. Where's it gone? There we go. Obviously, too small to see. Since we started looking at realising Net Zero Liverpool project and we started talking to people, whether they're architects, builders, engagement specialists, economic specialists, heat network engineers, comm specialists, builders, developers. We've seemed to have snowballed the effort behind this. We've now got, I think there's about 60 different people up there who are all willing to put in to help us design this project from a technical perspective, which is half of the battle. The other half is back to the people. It's back to the hearts and minds. It's back to involving our communities, making them the architects of our future. It's very popular with our leadership. Our leader, Liam Robinson, very forward-thinking when it comes to engagement. And he was one that first said to me, we really want citizen jury on what you're doing for net zero in Liverpool. Without the community on our side, it makes politicians very vulnerable and it makes the city very resistant to change. Once we can involve people in the right way and make sure they're part of everything that we're doing, then hopefully we can reach that utopian future where our grandkids aren't going to be dying some kind of dystopian future in 50, 60, 100 years' time. The truth is, we know that sea levels are going to rise if we don't stick to the 1.5 degree temperature rise limit. But nobody knows how quickly icebergs and glaciers are going to melt, so we don't know when we're going to flood, but we know with certainty that we will. So I shouldn't really finish on a negative note. For me, you know, it's all about this. It's all about getting the engagement right. It's all about involving our communities in what we do, and it's about helping the communities to do it themselves with a lot of support to bring the right technical people in to what we're doing as well. So thank you very much indeed.